Ma'am, notes.
Yeah, notes I'll be sending. I have certain problems. There are no currents here. Okay. So I'm not able to sit and do all the notes. So once I'll finish the notes, I'll send it across. Okay. Maybe another 1 or 2 days I'll be sending across the notes. Fine. Okay. Right. So until that, I have already sent the video lectures of the class. You can go in for referring the video lectures of the class. Fine. So we had come down to recruitment and selection, right? The next content of the module 2 is bit vast. Okay. So I think few more students are joined. Request all students to join on time so that time is not consumed in again coming back from the PPTs to the video here and allowing you in. Okay. So here, my dear students, one thing when it comes to recruitment and selection, first thing you need to know is you reap what you sow. Okay. So whatever you sow in the soil, you are going to get that type of tree. Okay. For example, if you're going to sow a mango seed in the soil, you're going to get a mango tree itself, right? So in the same way, recruitment function also is the same, right? So here the seeds are the human, okay, who are being filled within the organization. So here HR department has a very important task or very crucial task of filling in the right kind of manpower within the organization so that they can get the and the best benefits, okay, and they can achieve their objectives of the organization. Okay. So that's what we say, you reap what you sow. Now when it comes to recruitment, am I audible, students? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, when it comes to recruitment, my dear students, recruitment is nothing but a process by which large number of prospective candidates are attracted by various methods to apply for positions available. Okay, so please understand the meaning of recruitment is very, very important here. Okay, recruitment is nothing but a process by which large number of prospective candidates, okay, are attracted. So you are going to attract the candidates to apply for the job vacant in your organization. Okay, so that is nothing but recruitment. So recruitment of human capital is not just placing the advertisement, okay, or calling the consultants or employment agencies on your behalf to recruit the candidates. It is very much more complex exercise. Okay, so you have to ensure that human capital to be recruited matches the strategic plan of the organization. You cannot simply going on recruiting the people. Okay, you need to know when these people are needed in the organization and which is the right time to get those people in the organization, right? So recruitment is nothing but announcing job opportunities to the public. So you are going to announce the job opportunities which are available to the general public, stimulate them to apply for the job. Okay, particularly in good number. So you have suitable people, right people. Okay, you place an advertisement in such a way that you target the right audience, right? And then you get the right candidates applying for the job, and too much of numbers applying for the job. So recruitment basically is a process of discovering the potential of our actual and anticipated organizational vacancies. Okay, so I think few students want to join. Yeah, Prathamesh, please mute yourself. Okay, fine. So here, basically, if you could speak about recruitment here, it is nothing but an activity designed. I put it in a simple way: activity designed to attract qualified pool of job applicants to an organization. Okay, so it's a very complex job because you are giving the news about the vacancy in your organization to the general public. Okay, and you're targeting the audience whom you want to apply for the job. That means you're targeting the right candidates, okay, who are eligible for applying for that particular job. So here it is nothing but an activity which is being designed to attract qualified pool of job applicants to an organization. Okay, so according to certain authors, recruitment is nothing but, according to Edwin Flippo, recruitment is a process of searching for prospective employees and then stimulating them to apply for the jobs in the organization. So whenever you see an advertisement, okay, you have to get the right information. If the general public is seeing the advertisement of the vacancy, they have to get the right information as to who is the right candidate to apply for that particular job. Okay, and they have to also get the right information about the job, about the profile of the job, about the minimum qualification required for the job, experience required for the job, and when to apply for the job, how to apply for the job. Every information should be filled in that particular advertisement. Apart from that, it should be so attractive enough that it stimulates an public, whoever is seeing that particular ad, and if they feel they are very much applicable for that particular job, immediately they should apply for that particular job. That attractiveness should be created. That is nothing but recruitment. So recruitment basically aims at attracting large number of qualified applicants. Okay, recruitment aims at attracting a large number of qualified applicants who are ready to take up the job if it's offered. Okay, so that is one of the main objective of recruitment, attracting a large number of qualified applicants who are ready to take up the job if it is offered, then offering enough information for unqualified persons to self select themselves out. So you have to give right information about the job, as I said in the advertisement, so that the people or public who is seeing, if they feel, if they understand they're not qualified for the job, they may unselect themselves. Okay, so that is what the main aim of recruitment, right? Now moving on to objectives of recruitment. First objective of recruitment
Ma'am,
is, yeah.
ma'am, your screen is not visible.
Screen is not visible, huh? Oh, sorry, I have not shared the screen. Is it visible now, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here, my dear students, objectives of recruitment. If we speak of objectives of recruitment, first objective of recruitment is to review the list of objectives of the company. So before starting with the recruitment function, first you need to understand the objectives of the company. Okay, and also try to achieve the objectives by promoting the company in the minds of the public. Now here is what employer branding comes into picture. Okay, like how we have product brand, there is something called as employer brand, the term which is being used in HR. Okay, so what you're doing is you're creating a brand of the employer or of the company in the mind of public. Okay, so that immediately whenever there is a vacancy, you have large uh, candidates, or large number of candidates applying for that particular job, and you have the best talent applying for that particular job. Okay, so that is what we say, creating a brand image in the mind of the public, right? So whenever we say, if I say that there is a vacancy in Google, everyone will be ready to apply for that. Why? Because the image which it has created in the mind of public. If I say Infosys, most of them will be, you will be ready to apply for the job, because the brand image which is being created, okay, in the mind of the public. Okay, so that's what we say, that is the first objective of recruitment. Okay, creating a image, brand image in the mind of the public. Okay, so that you have a best goodwill in the market. Apart from that, you have to align your recruitment functions with the objectives of the company, right? So you cannot have any recruitment process. You have to align it with the objectives of the company, understand the requirement of manpower. Second objective is forecast how many people will be required in the company. Okay, so recruitment, for that you need to forecast how many people will be required in the organization, right? And and when they are required. Okay, at what time they are required, right? And what is the duration of their requirement within the organization. These all things are to be forecasted. Okay, and then enable the company to advertise itself and attract a pool of candidates, right? So attract talented pool of candidates. That is the third objective of recruitment. So here, the recruitment function places the advertisements, okay, into various sources of recruitment, where it may be print media, it may be internet, it may be social networking sites. Okay, it may be the own company website, it may be the company notice boards. Okay, everywhere the advertisements are being put forth. Okay, so recruitment aims, as I said, in attracting, putting forth the advertisement in such a way that it attracts the talented people to apply within the organization. Okay, that is a third objective of recruitment. Apart from that, provide different opportunities to procure human resource, right? So here, having different opportunities or giving different opportunities, having innovative ways of recruitment through which you can get the best human resource. That's what is the objective of recruitment. Okay. Then afterwards, moving on to importance of recruitment, right? So the importance of recruitment, first importance basically is attracting the candidates. Okay. So here, even though recruitment does not ensure the final onboarding of the candidates in the company. So here, recruitment basically doesn't ensure that finally the candidate will be within the organization, employed with the organization. Okay, so it is just a starting step. So even though recruitment does not ensure the final onboarding of the candidate in the company, but it effectively attracts a large number of candidates to apply for vacancies. Okay, so this gives the candidates a potential chance for employment and also publicizes the organization among job seekers. Okay, so here what it does, the recruitment, why recruitment function is required within the organization? First is to attract the candidates. Okay, so here finally if you could say recruitment places an advertisement. Okay, the first step of recruitment is identifying the objectives of the organization, understanding the needs, forecasting the needs, and then placing the advertisements. Okay, so here are telling about the vacancy in the company to the general public by various means or various sources. Okay, so here first job is to attract large pool of candidates. So your advertisement or your information should be such that it targets the right audience, and it should attract people to apply for the job within the organization. So that's the reason recruitment is very much required for to attract the right kind of candidates. Okay, then second importance of recruitment is it facilitates selection. So selection process is undertaken basically to keep in mind the ultimate organizational needs. Okay, so selection process is undertaken by keeping in mind the ultimate needs of the organization. The candidates have to go through an extensive process of screening. The candidates will be going an extensive process of screening before they are finally selected. So there are n number of tests which are being taken. Okay, so there are psychomotor test or psychological test or MBTI, as you have seen in your MOB last semester. Okay, big five test. All these are various tests which the candidate has to undergo depending on the job for he or she is being selected. Okay, and then recruitment basically provides a large option for the selector to choose from the pool of candidates. Okay, and cater to the needs of the firm. That is one of the importance of recruitment. Okay, so it facilitates selection because you have large number of people coming in to apply for the job, and you have large pool of people. In that large pool of people, you are going to select the best. Okay, so here you provide a very broad option for the selector to select among the or to choose among the best who caters the needs of the organization, right? And the third importance of recruitment is success rate of selection, right? So since recruitment process is already comprehensive. Okay, it takes present and future job analysis into account. Okay, so here it takes the present job as well as future job into analysis, and then recruits the candidates. So this rule out the presence of underqualified and overqualified candidates reaching the selection process. So many a times it happens that underqualified and overqualified candidates reach the selection process. Okay, so in this in turn increases the success rates of the selection process. Okay, so here what happens is whenever you go in for selection process, okay, so you will be having underqualified and overqualified candidates who reach the selection process. Okay, you can just vote them off or take them off, and you will have by all selection tests you will have qualified people who will be selected for the job, and those who are underqualified or overqualified, you can select them for various other job positions. Okay, so the success rate of selection will be very high. Fine. I think students want to join. Then you have this next one, it is meeting obligations, right? So every organization has legal obligations, okay, that is to be met. In addition to that, social obligations, also termed as corporate social responsibility, which is basically the big factor organization has to take care of. So by recruiting candidates and maintaining the workforce composition, the obligations are successfully met. Okay, so here you are going to meet the legal obligations as well as the social obligations. Social obligations by creating employment opportunities, by giving employment opportunities to the by giving jobs to the people, and by increasing their standard of living. Okay, legal obligations wherein you will be when legally they will be speaking about certain reservations, okay, or maybe certain reservations for various genders. Okay, so all these are taken into consideration, and automatically the recruitment function is being designed in such a way that it meets all the obligations. It may be legal obligations or it may be the social obligations, right? Apart from that, transparency, right? So recruitment process is largely undertaken basically to maintain organizational transparency. Okay, so it is an effective measure by which complete transparency can be maintained. Okay, so transparency does not only cater the organization but also the employees. So this means that organization, that is the HR manager or field recruiter, clients, and all other entities are completely aware of the process and basically possess the same information. Okay, so in addition to this, a transparent procedure also ensures that candidates are aware of the status of their job applications. Okay, so here you have a number of softwares which have come in, okay, which do the work of this recruitment on behalf of the HR department people. They are the people who will be coordinating with this softwares and also the candidates, right? And basically, whenever an interview is being scheduled, immediately you send a message to the candidate, and the candidate can track what is the status of his or her application. All these are various systems which are being brought into HR. Okay, so basically transparency becomes very high, okay, with all these things into consideration, right? And then you have confidence. Okay, so since basic recruitment is a transparent process, it ensures confidence in the organization, since the recruiter, client, and the managers are aware and accountable for the entire recruitment process. All of them have directly or indirectly contributed to the result and are confident of the choice and satisfied by it. Okay, so because of transparency or confidence automatically plunks in. Okay, so because this particular process is entirely transparent, you have confident people, confident recruiters, confident clients, and confident managers, okay, who will be there, and they will be very much accountable for the entire recruitment process, right? Then avoid discriminations. That is one of the importance of recruitment function. So here a proper and legitimate recruitment process is entirely based on merit. So it is based on job analysis, attracting candidates based on the job description, and screen them based on the merit. Okay, so the parameters for screening are mentioned at every step, and the result depends solely on the merit of the candidates. Okay, so this rules out possibility of any candidate facing discrimination due to race, caste, color, or personal connections. Right. So there is nothing called as discrimination when it comes to recruitment functions. So recruitment adds to fairness of the organizational procedures. Okay. Then you have job description, which is another importance of recruitment. So basically framing a job description is important for an organization. Okay, so in recruitment the candidates are chosen based on the job description provided by the company. It is a determinantal factor in in recruiting the candidates. So hence recruitment basically has to curate a proper job description which includes all primary, secondary, and tertiary aspects related to the particular job role. Okay, so here it is very important that to prepare, in the sense job description is basically used into recruitment functions, and recruitment function is entirely based on the job descriptions. Okay, then you have consistency, which is another importance of recruitment. So here inconsistent system of recruitment basically is most likely to provide bias and unstandardized results. Okay, so you need to have a consistent system, okay, to ensure fair judgment and selection of the right candidate for the right job at the right time. Okay, so recruitment process should be kept consistent with standardized measures of screening each stage. Okay, so an effective and well framed recruitment policy will not just hire the right candidate for the job, it will heighten the reach of the organization in addition to generation of eligible pool of the candidates. Okay, so here basically when it comes to importance of recruitment, these are the various points which proves the importance of recruitment, right? And followed by recruitment you have the recruitment policies, right? So here basically when it comes to policies of the recruitment, okay, so they have recruitment policy of the organization. Similarly, recruiting from internal sources, external also affect the recruitment process. Recruitment policy of the organization determines the destination or enlistment and gives a structure to usage of the recruitment program. Okay, so there are various things which are included in recruitment policies or which are to be taken care when we speak about the recruitment policies. Okay, all employment activities must center in one place. That is one of the policy of recruitment. Okay, so in case all requisitions go through one center and all employment records are kept up to date, there is maximum possibility for efficiency. Okay, and also for the type of follow up that may progressively improve employment methods by checking on the success of previous hiring. Okay, so a busy line manager normally does not have enough time and skill to perform recruitment and selection process himself or herself. So he or she can benefit by assistance of the central staff agency or the HR department, right? So here all the activities must center in one place, right? Then you have a creation of a new post. So creation of a new post and sanction for appointment on the same should be authorized by the competent authority. Now this is very important. Simply without the authority of the competent person, it may be the CEO or VP of the organization, you cannot go in for appointing any person within the organization, right? The HR department head as well as the CEO VP should countersign the application, and then itself the applications which are being brought from departments for need of manpower, they will be sanctioned, and then the recruitment function takes into consideration, right? Then the number of selected people should not exceed the number of effective vacant positions. That is very very important, right? You attract the people, you ask them to apply for the job. So here the person who is selecting the candidate should be very very clear in to understand that the number of selected people should not exceed the vacancies. Then job analysis is must. So job analysis should take place well before recruitment, right? Then qualification and the like of the candidate should match the job requirement, right? So they're very important. You have to match the job requirement with the qualification experience of the candidate. Okay, and then the recruitment and selection should be very fair enough. You should not have any unfair practices in it. Okay, a comparative study of different sources of recruitment should be made from time to time, and only the best source should be tapped. Okay, as far as possible, all candidates should be taken from one source, and no false information or assurance should be given at the time of selection. So recruitment and selection should be done only by trained, experienced, and efficient staff. Then recruitment policy should clearly lay down the long-term plans for the employees. So they have to lay down the long-term plans of the employees, and false information you cannot provide at the time of selection. Okay, it should keep in view the public policies also. Okay, when it comes to selection, then it should clearly indicate the firm's attitude towards employment of and reservations for minorities, women, physically handicapped, and so on. So it should take into consideration the legal consideration also. Then it should clearly state the basis and extent of promotion from within the organization. It should attach due importance to audit and research on matters like recruitment ratio, as the number of actual people hired per 100 applicants in the firm, as well as the other firms. So here all these are various policies which are to be taken into consideration when you are framing the recruitment policy in your organization. Okay. Then moving on to factors which influence recruitment. Okay. So factors in which influence recruitment, you have salary, okay, pay package of the company, quality of work life, organization culture, company products and services, right? Geographic spread of the company operations, company's growth rate, role of trade unions, size of organization, recruitment policy. Okay, and then you have human resource planning, image of the organization, and image of the job. So first factor, that is internal factor, if you could say, salary, pay package of the company. Okay, so if I say that there is a vacancy in a particular company, XYZ company, first thing you will ask me is the salary, okay, pay package which is there within the organization, right, for that particular job. So you need to have competitive salary, okay, for the jobs which are vacant in your organization, so that you can have the best candidates moving in. Okay, so if you do not have competitive salary or pay packages, obviously you have to compromise on the quality of the candidates, right? So that is one of the factor which influences the recruitment. Okay, many of the companies fail in this, right? When they do not pay the right package to the candidates, they have to compromise on the quality of the candidates. Ultimately, they will be losing on the business. Okay, so one of the internal factor which affects the recruitment function. And then second factor which influences the recruitment is quality of work life. Okay, so here the culture of the organization, okay, the working environment, everything should be very pleasing, okay, very positive enough. Okay, if you are having negative environment within the organization, negative culture being followed within the organization, right, you have too much of stress being given on employees to get the work done, right, welfare of the employees are not taken care of. If all these conditions exist, then ultimately you are not going to get the right talent to the organization, right? Because the news spreads immediately. Okay, whatever happens within the organization, if you are ill treating your employees within the organization, or you are not giving a proper working environment to the employees in the organization, the communication goes to the outside public in a same way or in a negative way. And obviously people may not be able to apply for the job in your organization. They'll not be very much attracted for the jobs in your organization. That is one of the factor which influences recruitment. So quality of work life should be very very positive. That is very much required. Apart from that, organization culture. Okay, so when we speak about the organization culture here, as I said, the culture of the organization should follow the learning culture. You need to be free to your employees. Okay, so you need to give better opportunities to the employees. You need to give better career to your employees. So this is what we say, the culture of the organization. If it is really positive and it provides growth to the employees career, professional career, obviously you are the best company to be in for the employees. Okay, or for the public who want to apply for the jobs. If not, then obviously you are the worst company to bring to get into the job for the outside public. Okay, so that's what we say. Organization culture plays a very important role when it comes to influencing the recruitment functions. Okay, apart from that, company products and services, right? So you need to be very much well known within the country, okay, or within that particular area. Then only people will be able to apply for the jobs in your organization. Okay, so products and services also should be very demanding and very well known by the market. Okay, so geographic spread of the company operations. Obviously, when you're applying for a particular job, first thing you will be looking in is where all the company is located. Okay, in India, or maybe domestically or internationally. Okay, so where you have an option or opportunity to visit those countries, understand the things. Okay, so that's what, based on your performance, if you are being sent to foreign countries or maybe other branches wherever you are required. Okay, or you can become a global manager. All these are various things which you will be looking in. Okay, so for that you need to check the geographical spread of the company's operations, where all it is spread. Apart from that, company's growth rate, very important, right? So growth rate of the company, the market share of the company should be very high, or maybe should be very consistent. Okay, if there is any drop in the growth of the company, people may not be able to apply for the jobs in the organization. Then role of trade union, very very important. Okay, so when it comes to trade unions, plays a very important role, okay, into the organization when it comes to recruitment. So certain trade unions have their own policies. They say that whenever you want to recruit candidates, you can recruit our own relatives, okay, or union members and all those people, right? So they have an agreement with the employer, and based on that, the recruitment takes place. That is one of the factor which influences the recruitment. And size of the organization. Okay, so size of the organization is one of the most important factor which affects the recruitment process. Basically, to expand the business, recruitment planning is mandatory for hiring more resources, which will be handling the future operations. Okay, that's what we say, the size of the organization. Then you have recruitment policy. The recruitment policy of the organization is very very important. while hiring from internal source or external source of the organization. Okay, it affects the recruitment process, right? So it specifies the objectives of the recruitment and provides a framework for implementation of the recruitment programs. Then you have the image of the company. Okay, so here the image of the organization has to have good positive image in the market, that so that they can easily attract competent resources or competent people to apply to the organization, and the company also has to maintain good public relation, provide public services, etc., and help the organization in enhancing its reputation in the market and thereby attracting the best possible resources. And that's the reason many of the companies go in for doing social corporate social responsibility activities. Certain companies have adopted the village where they are located. Okay, so nearby villages are being adopted and they take care of the well-being of the people in that particular village. Certain companies have given electricity supply to the villages, right, on their own cost. Certain companies have gone in for providing water facilities to the to the people surrounding villages. Okay, like this, lot of social activities are being done so that they create a best image or better image in the mind of the public. Okay, so they have that goodwill which is being created in the market by doing all these activities. Apart from that, image of the job. Okay, image of the job is also very very important. So when it comes to image of the job, like just like the image of the organization, image of the job also plays a critical role in recruitment. So jobs having a positive image in terms of better remuneration, better promotional opportunities, okay, better recognition, good working environment, okay, with career development opportunities are considered as a characteristic to attract qualified candidates. Okay, so job also should be competent enough, and these are all the internal factors which influence the recruitment. Okay, apart from that, we had human resource planning. Okay, human resource planning is one of the factor which influences the recruitment functions. Okay, so basically, the process of human resource planning, which is being done in the organization, based on that also the recruitment functions do differ. Okay, so when it comes to the human resource functions, effective human resource process and procedures do help in fixing the loops present in the existing manpower of the organization. And this also happens in filter the number of employees to be recruited and what kind of qualification and skill they must possess. Everything is being clearly put forth in human resource planning. Okay, and then you have the external factors. Okay, so when it comes to external factors, the first external factor is labor market. Okay, so here when you speak about the labor market, it is nothing but the labor market conditions. Similarly, supply of labor and demand of labor. Okay, which is particularly important in affecting recruitment process. Okay, for example, if the demand for specific skill is high relative to its supply, recruiting employees will involve more efforts. Okay, so if the demand for a specific skill is very high and the supply of labor for that particular skill is very low, that time recruiting employees will involve too much of efforts. On the contrary, if supply of the labor is high for a particular skill and demand of a particular skill is very low, that time recruitment becomes very easy. Okay, so in this context, observations made by 11 p.m. in regard to labor market in India is worth citing. Okay, so here there was a research paper which was being written, okay, on this, and observations being made by 11 p.m. So most striking feature in Indian labor market is apparent abundance of labor. Okay, so you have always supply of labor very high in India. So yet the right type of labor is not too easy to find, but still you have the supply of labor which is there in India, especially skilled, semi-skilled and unskilled labor which are there in India. Okay, that's the reason many of the companies are popping in India to open their branches and all those things, right? Because we have supply of labor very high and demand of labor is very low, so you can pay very low wages to the employees, right? So that is one of the external factor which affects the recruitment. Apart from that, you have demographic factors. Okay, so when you speak about the demographic factors, it is related to attributes of potential employees such as their age, religion, literacy level, gender, occupation, economic status, etc. So all this to come into consideration. So when it comes to demographic factors, my dear students, the different age of people, religion, okay, literacy level of the people, gender of the people, all these do come into consideration, right? So probably that is one of the factor which influences the recruitment function. Okay, so later on I'll just look into the legal considerations which tells about how demographic factors do influence recruitment function. Then you have unemployment rate. Okay, so if the unemployment rate is high in a specific area, hiring the resources will become very simple and easier. Okay, so if unemployment rate is very high in a particular area, hiring people from that particular area will become very easy as the number of applications is very high. So in contrast, if unemployment rate is low, it becomes very difficult to hire people. Okay, because demand is less than supply, the hiring will become relatively easier. If demand is more than supply, obviously it becomes very difficult to hire the people. Okay, so here then you have labor laws. So labor laws of that particular country reflects the social and political environment of the market, which are created by the central and state governments. Okay, so these laws dictate the compensation, working environment, safety, and health regulations. So there will be n number of laws which will be put forth by the government. Okay, which speaks about the compensation to be paid to the employees, how much compensation is to be paid to the employees. Okay, as well as number of and as well as the central and state government also speaks about the working environment which is to be provided, safety and health conditions which are to be provided. Everything is being put forth by labor laws, or everything is to be considered. So as government changes, the laws also change. With that change, again it influences the recruitment functions. Then you have legal considerations, so job reservations, okay, for different castes such as SC, OBCs are the best example of legal considerations. So these considerations passed by government will have a positive or a negative impact on the recruitment policies of the organization. Apart from that, when it comes to legal consideration, the apprentices who are there will be working within the organization for as on a training basis. Okay, so that time you have to have recruit, okay, at least 10 to 15% of the apprentice within your organization. That is what law says. Apart from that, you have to also give special consideration for women as well as physically handicapped people in the society. Okay, so government may pass a order saying that you have to have 10% of the employment being given to the physically handicapped people. Okay, so like this, there are n number of legal considerations which are to be taken care, and which influences the function of recruitment. Okay, then you have competitors. Okay, so when organization in same industry are competing for the best qualified resources, there is a need to analyze the competition and offer the resource package that are best in terms of industry standards. Okay, so here whenever you are going for recruitment function, so that time you need to look into the competitors also, the strategy being played by the competitors, the salary being paid by the competitors, right? And you have to set your benchmark into that particular area. So all these are various functions basically which influence the recruitment, which influencing the recruitment. Till here, any questions, students? Is it understood? Any questions? Yes, students, any questions? Pooja More?
Is go. No, ma'am.
Any? Okay. Sandeep? Sandeep Gaurai, any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I think it is being understood. Okay. So I'll move forward. Fine. So moving on to next, my dear students, process of recruitment. Okay. So when we speak about the process of recruitment, okay, so process of recruitment is nothing but a foolproof recruitment process basically is targeting towards attracting qualified candidates and encourage maximum possible job seekers to apply for the job. Okay, so when we speak about the process of recruitment, it takes into consideration, or it makes possible to build a big pool of talented players in a tight job market, and also minimize the time involved in finding candidates. So you are going to source the right process. Okay, you're going to source the right way through which you can find the candidates. You're going to target the right talent pool. talent within the country. Okay, and you're going to find the candidates and fill roles for present and future requirements of the company. Okay, so that's what we say recruitment process. So well planned and thoughtfully crafted recruitment process helps the hiring team, okay, filter the right candidate faster while staying focused on the and engaging the eligible candidates for maximum conversions. Okay, so here you have to have a well planned recruitment process which is thoughtfully crafted, keeping in line the objectives of the organization, the strategy of the organization, okay, the budget of the organization. Taking everything into consideration, you are going to craft a recruitment process which helps the hiring team to filter the right candidates faster while staying focused on the on engaging the eligible candidates for maximum conversions. Okay, so you have to prepare your internal candidates, that means internal employees who are already working in your organization, as well you have to going to attract the extra talent from the market. Okay, then recruitment process not only reflects the company's professionalism but also helps in attract the right kind of candidate. Now, process of recruitment also tells the standard of the organization. If the recruitment process is really crafted in a nice way, okay, it just keeps the candidate moving through the process to get into the organization. If it is not crafted in a nice way, ultimately what happens, the candidates feels that it is not a standardized company and the process is really not good and they may quit looking in for that particular job. Okay, so recruitment process basically reflects the company's professionalism. Okay, and also helps attract the right candidates of the right kind of candidates, while it also saves time and money spent on identifying, attracting, engaging, recruiting, and retailing the talent. Okay, so all these things are being avoided when your process is really good. Okay, so recruitment process, when we speak about recruitment process, okay, first step in recruitment process is planning of the recruitment, second step is strategy development, third is searching, screening, evaluation, and control. Okay, now let us see one by one all this what it exactly it is. Okay, so first step when we speak about the recruitment process, it is nothing but recruitment planning. So when we speak about recruitment planning, it is nothing but understanding the vacant positions and analyzing them and describing those positions. Okay. So it includes job analysis. So recruitment planning includes job analysis, wherein job specifications and the nature, experience, qualification, skill required for the job is considered. Apart from that, a structured recruitment plan is mandatory, basically to attract potential candidates from a pool of candidates. Okay, so potential candidates should be qualified, experienced with the capability to take up the responsibilities required to achieve the objectives of the organization. So first thing in recruitment planning which you do is identifying the vacancy. Okay, so now what you are going to do is you're going to understand, okay, the vacancies which are there in your organization in different departments of the organization, which contains a number of posts to be filled, number of positions, duties and responsibilities to be performed, qualification and experience required. All these details will be there in that particular requisition being given by the department heads. When a vacancy is identified, it is responsibility of the sourcing manager, okay, that is the hiring manager, to ascertain whether the position is required or not. Okay, whether this position is really required, and get the right authentication from the CEO, VP, or any competent authority of the organization. Okay, and whether it is required for temporary purpose or permanently. Okay, whether you have to recruit for full time or part time. All these are things are to be taken into consideration when you are planning for recruitment. Okay, and then you go for proper identifying, planning, and evaluating leads to hiring of the right resource for the organization. Okay, so that is very much required here. So job analysis gives the first base for recruitment planning. Okay, once the job analysis is received, you have to get the authorization from the competent authorities. Okay, so apart from that, the second one is recruitment strategy or strategy development. So recruitment strategy is the second step of recruitment process, where the strategy is prepared for hiring the resources after completion after completing the preparation of the job description and job specification. Next step it is to decide which strategy to adopt for recruiting the potential candidates for the organization. Okay, so you have to develop a right strategy. So while preparing the recruitment strategy, HR team considers the following points. Okay, make or buy employees. Can you make employees, train your employees who are already there within the organization and fill the required vacancies in the organization, or whether you have to buy the candidate employees. Okay, whether you have to give in advertisement and source for external candidates. Okay, so type of recruitment which is to be done: permanent recruitment or full-time recruitment or partial recruitment or maybe temporary recruitment. Okay, geographical areas where the recruitment is to be done, as well as sources through which are going to recruit. Okay, so all these are different decisions being made when it comes to recruitment strategy. So the development of the recruitment strategy is a long process. Okay, but having the right strategy is mandatory to attract the right candidates. So steps involved in developing recruitment strategy is setting up a broad team who will be developing that particular strategy, recruitment strategy, analyze the HR strategy, collect the available data, analyze the collected data, and set the recruitment strategy. Okay, so here in recruitment strategy, the main thing is searching for the right candidate. Okay, so you're going to search the right candidate by various sources, that is internal sources and external sources. Okay, so after strategy development, you have to come down to searching. Okay, so internal sources will be there, external sources will be there. Internal sources we'll see in detail in the coming slides. Okay, so you have promotions, transfers, former employees, internal advertisement, that is job postings, employee referrals, and previous applicants. All these are internal sources. External sources include direct recruitment, employment exchanges, employment agencies, advertisements, professional associations, campus recruitment, word of mouth. All these are various external sources, right? So you are going to search from which source I can get the right kind of candidate. And then you have screening and shortlisting, which is the next process of recruitment. So screening starts basically after the completion of sourcing of the candidates. Okay, so screening is nothing but process of filtering the applications of the candidates for further selection process. So here, first step when it comes to recruitment process is screening of the applications. So applications are screened and the best applications which match the job are being taken out. Okay, so screening is internal part of recruitment process which helps in removing unqualified and irrelevant candidates who have applied for that particular job. Screening process of recruitment consists three steps, that is reviewing the resume and cover letter of that particular resume, conducting telephone and video interview, and then identifying the top candidates. Okay, these are the three steps involved in screening. Apart from that, you have evaluation and control. Okay, so evaluation and control is the last stage in the process of recruitment. So in this process, effectiveness and the validity of the process and methods are assessed. So recruitment is costly process, hence it is important that performance of the recruitment process is truly evaluated. Okay, so the cost incurred in recruitment process are to be evaluated and controlled effectively. Okay, so cost, when you speak about recruitment cost, it includes salaries to the recruiters, advertisement cost, and other costs incurred by the recruitment methods, administrative expenses, recruitment overheads, overtime, and outstanding cost while the vacancies remain unfilled. Okay, cost incurred in recruiting suitable candidates for the final selection process, time spent by the management and professionals in the job description, job specification, and conducting interview. All these are various expenses which are being involved. Okay, so you have to see to it that you evaluate all these expenses and control all these expenses, right? So that's what we say the recruitment process. Okay, then you have basically the sources of recruitment. Okay, so first source of recruitment, you have internal source and external source. Internal sources of recruitment. So when we speak about internal sources of recruitment, okay, so when recruiter uses internal source for recruitment, it works to motivate the existing employees. Okay, so internal source is nothing but you're going to choose from the existing employees who are already working in your organization to be more productive and maximize their job satisfaction and sense of security. Okay, so recruiting through internal source also reduce the attrition rate along with the cost and efforts. Okay, So most of the companies going for preferring the internal source rather than the external source. Okay. Now let us see one by one what are these internal sources of recruitment. First internal source of recruitment is transfer. Okay. So recruiter can fill in the vacancy in different locations without any change in the job roles. Please understand, my dear students here. Recruiter can fill vacancy in different locations. So you are going to transfer people to different locations without any change in job, without any change in job role, without any change in status, without any change in salary of the employees. Okay. So you're going to transfer the employees who are suitable candidates from within the organization for that particular post. Okay. So that's what we say transfer. Okay. Then you have a second internal source of recruitment, that is promotion. Okay. So a vacancy can also be filled by offering higher performing employee or high performing employee to take over a senior position within the organization for handling additional responsibility along with the raise. So this is nothing but a vertical move to the employee from one designation to the next designation. Okay. To the upper designation. So promotion basically motivates employees to perform better and also reduce the attrition rate. Then you have the next internal source, that is demotion, exactly opposite to promotion. So it is depending entirely on the performance of the employee. If the performance of the employee is not really good, okay, the management may take a decision of lowering the position of the underperformers. Okay, so it is again nothing but vertical line itself, but it is not one step higher, it is one step lower. Okay, so these employees then become the source of filling the lower positions. Okay, lower positions are being filled by these demoted people, so they come one step back. Okay, so that's what or one position back, that's what we say demotion. Okay. Then existing employees is one of the internal source of recruitment. So here employees of the organization spread the word and create a buzz on their social media accounts to help you fill your vacancies. Okay. So have an employee referral program. Most of the companies do follow this employee referral programs. Okay, wherein the existing employees of the company will be referring their friends, their relatives, or anyone whom they know who would be the best suit for the job, and entire responsibility of that particular candidate will be taken by the person who has referred them. Okay. And the employee who is referring will be getting various benefits for referring the right kind of candidate. Okay. So that's what we say the employee referral programs, where employees are incentivized for bringing a suitable candidate, can also help in accelerating the recruitment process, right? Apart from that, you have retired employees. Okay, so in case of an emergency or a mission critical project, retired employees can also be called in for filling the vacancies or filling the positions for a short period till an appropriate candidate is found. So retired employees cannot be employed again. But in case of emergency or basically if there is any critical project which has to be fulfilled, that time if the retired employees are taken, they can be taken on temporary basis, okay, or contractual basis. That is one of the internal source of recruitment. Then you have previous applicants. Okay, so keeping applications on file. Whoever is applied, or maybe if there is some walk-ins, the applications are being put in the file if they are not being selected. So these previous applications, which did not make the cut for the first time, make around the resourceful database. Okay, so they can be reached out to when the job matches for their profile. Okay, so that's what we say the previous applicants. Apart from that, unions are again the best source of internal sources. Okay, so in some countries unions are very strong. Basically, if you could see in European unions are very strong. So unions, the companies has to run on the terms and conditions of those European unions. In India also, unions are not that given that position, but still they are much strong. Okay. So when CITU and all, Central Trade Union Congress and all those things, so these are the people, basically these are the unions which rule certain organizations. So whenever there is a vacancy, unions say that you have to recruit 10 to 15% of the people for these positions or various positions in the organization from our union members or relatives and family members of the unions. Okay, so basically unions also are one of the internal source of recruitment. They refer the candidates for the jobs, as well as dependents of the deceased employee. if any employee dies with the accident or maybe some mishappening within the organization, that time the dependents of those employees can be taken on job on behalf of those employees who are dead. Okay, so these are various internal sources of recruitment, and then external source of recruitment we'll be looking into the next class. Okay, till here, students, is it understood? Am I going too fast? Prathamesh, am I going too fast?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I think it's understood.
Yes, ma'am, it's understood.
Okay, right. So basically, we have a certain part of recruitment here, and then we'll be looking into training and development. That is the last part of module 2. Okay, so modules are bit vast here, my dear students. So basically, it may take some time for me to finish the syllabus. Okay, and then we'll start with the revision classes and all those things. Till that, any questions, students? Neha Kamte, any questions?
No,
Vaishnavi,
ma'am.
Priya Pawar, any questions? Pranali, any questions? Pranali Nangratkar?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay, great. So are you looking on to the videos which are being sent?
Yes, ma'am.